Easy guys, it's Monk here. So today we're just going to look at the difference between distortion, saturation and overdrive. So all three are types of distortion. They are all technically, distortion effects. However, there are some differences. So first of all, just for if we don't know what distortion is, here's a guitar loop, clean. And then we'll add some distortion to it. Sorry if that deafened you, I'm going to bring the output down. So that's the distortion effect, basically. That's the effect it has. And so you can see what that's actually doing a bit better, like bring up an EQ after it and then watch the EQ as I play with the distortion drive. What you need to notice is all of these extra frequencies that are appearing. These are all not necessarily here, because this is what brings me on to the difference between distortion and saturation. With saturation, it's basically more harmonically pleasing distortion. Distortion is creating more frequencies and more information that fills up the frequency spectrum and creates this distortion effect, which is what all of these extra things are. When I take it out and play it, and then look at all these extra things, like all these extra waves here. So that's what distortion is doing and how it's creating that effect. The difference between saturation and distortion is when you get a saturation up, which we will do now, which is in Fat Effects. If you've seen I did a video on where saturation is in Logic, by the way. Saturation's a bit hidden, there isn't just a saturation plugin. In Fat Effects, or there is another option, but if you go watch that video, I'll leave it linked below. That will tell you about how to use saturation in Logic. But here, for example, we're now going to drive in this distortion unit. We're just going to use this soft saturation option, and then we're going to watch the EQ when we're driving that. I'm going to turn off all the other effects actually. So it's not quite as busy basically, and the thing with saturation is basically what it's doing is creating harmonics, like additional frequencies that are like musically related to your fundamental note, whatever note that is that you're playing, or whatever key that is that your sample's in, or whatever. It's creating like mathematical harmonies, whatever you want to call it, of that main frequency or that main note that's being played. So saturation is basically a subtle and more musically pleasing version of distortion. And then overdrive, which you do actually have as a stock plugin as well. Overdrive is most commonly used with guitarists and stuff. It's, as the name suggests, it comes from the use of like overdriving analog equipment, like when you turn all the drive up but turn the output down. So you're basically like abusing the equipment to like purposely get it to distort the audio. Now, why overdrive is different is because overdrive is reacting to the signal, whereas distortion or saturation is just whatever you feed through it, the effect is going to be applied the same. Overdrive actually sort of almost works as if it's modulated, as in the harder you play your instrument, the more distortion will occur. So in this case, like with a sample, it's just like the louder the sample gets, the more it will distort. And it's almost like I say, if you had like the drive automated by the amplitude of your signal. So that's literally all that is, and that's why that's different. We can give that a listen as well with the EQ up too. so the softer notes won't distort as much as the louder notes will. So that's kind of a nice effect, and like I say, that's most commonly used with guitarists. You'll find overdrive pedals are quite common on a pedal board. So that's just a quick one really. It wasn't like very long. It was just a question that I thought of, which might be nice to like get an answer, because I was sat there googling last night, because I just thought oh yeah, what is the difference? So nice to find that out, and then I thought I'd share that information with you guys. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any things I've missed, or you feel like I'm misinformed in any way, also leave that in the comments below. Obviously that's very interesting. And drop a like and subscribe if you found it helpful or you enjoyed it. That helps all the algorithms and all that good stuff. And thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next video.